Hi guys, my favorite new piece of gear lets me do this. The value of pi is 3.1415926535897932338. It's a teleprompter, and I love it. So just a disclaimer up front, the company Pergear actually sent me this teleprompter for review, but they don't know what I'm going to say about it. In fact, they probably didn't mean to send it to me, as I'm not a very big deal. But I gotta say, I'm glad they did, because I am a really big fan of this so far, and if you stay till the end, I will give you my method of teleprompter reading, which will make you look like a seasoned news pro. Intrigued? The YouTube algorithm says people don't watch my videos long enough. So this is about the cheapest teleprompter that I can find on Amazon, which is always a good thing. I think it's $90 Canadian right now. I'll put up the US here. It's good to have low-cost items as long as they work, of course, and this one does. It comes with this metal rod to mount onto your tripod. On one end, you put your camera, and on the other side, you have this hooded mirror. It comes with this little ball head so you can adjust your camera. I'm actually using the GH5 and the Sigma 16mm, and that's holding just fine. I'll put the combined weight of that up on the screen here somewhere. It also supports my A7 III and my Tamron 28-75. Again, here's the weight for that. So in between the mirror and the camera, there's this little cloth thing that you fasten to your lens so that no lights get in. Now that can make focusing a little tricky if you're using the lens to focus, but I usually use the Panasonic app to focus, and Sony is always in autofocus mode, so that doesn't matter. Also, the teleprompter is small enough so that if you do have a flip out screen, like I do on my GH5, it doesn't totally block it, which is a great thing. So a mistake some people make is they get a bigger teleprompter so they can put a tablet like an iPad on it and read off that mirrored reflection, but that will likely cover up the flip out screen you have, so unless you have an external monitor that you're also looking at, it's really good to have this small footprint. There's a little cold shoe mount on top of the hood, but I would only put something there like a lightweight microphone, as it doesn't seem like it's going to be able to hold that much weight. So what's great about this setup is that your script is projected directly in front of your lens, so you can actually read something you wrote using this clear image reflection while you stare directly into your lens, which makes you sound natural while you maintain psychotic eye contact with your audience. Oh, that was hard to do with all these lights. So in order to use it, you basically download the app for iPhone or Android. You write your script into the app. I actually write mine in Notes, then I cut and paste it into the app, but it's neither here nor there. Then you choose the font size and then how fast you want it to scroll, and then the projections actually flip backwards, so because it's on a mirror, and then you pair it with a Bluetooth remote, which is right here. It's in my hand. And you just start it by pressing the top button here. And look how natural it is when you read directly from the screen. No one can tell what you're doing. I'm just kidding. I've had this going the whole time. M. Night Shyamalan twist, am I right? This thing is coming in really handy. Like, I just did a microphone review that had a ton of specs on it that I had no hope of remembering, so I just read it off the screen, and it actually looked pretty good. It didn't look like my eyes were darting all over the place. Now, the name on the actual device is called a Kiesophyne, and the app, like I said, is compatible with iOS and Android. You need 2 AAA batteries for the remote, which are not included. Rip off. The Bluetooth remote seems to be some kind of generic remote because it's got a bunch of buttons that don't do anything really, but what's important is the start and stop at the top. And then weirdly, it has this little switch here. And if you click the switch, now you can use the joystick here to go up and down on your script. And that's useful too. If you don't want it to just scroll all the time, you want it to stay on the screen, and then you want it to go up eventually, But if you want it to scroll on its own, where it's just doing its own thing at the pace you set it at, press the button on the other switch, and then you just let it float up over the screen. My only major complaint about the product is I wish there had been clearer assembly instructions. It's not too complicated, but I always like to know if I'm doing things correctly. I watched a video that they had on it with the assembly, and I had no issues after that. Packaging was just this plain box with the components inside, nothing fancy there. They did give me a nice little blower here and a cloth to wipe the screen. I'm assuming the no frills packaging was just to save costs, and I appreciate that. And it's got all these little things here, these little guards, so if you don't want to use a mirrorless camera or a DSLR camera in DSLR, if you don't want to use in a big camera, you can use an iPhone or any kind of phone, and you can just go through the little holes here and it'll still block out the light. But what's a bit strange about that is that if you're using your phone to project the image onto the screen so you can read it, then you need a second phone. So if you're someone that has 2 phones and likes to shoot your videos with one of those phones, then you're equipped. You're good to go here. But if you're like me, you're going to use it with a real deal camera because we're nothing but professional here at Camera Crisis. I really didn't think I'd adapt that well to a teleprompter, but I'm really digging it. And here is that tip that I so deviously promised at the beginning. Now, when I have an extremely complicated segment of my video, like I said, with all those mic specs, I will just read it word for word, you know, but when it's not quite so mathy, what I like to do is write out some bullet points of the things I want to say. Then they're on the screen there. So you get my natural, spontaneous charisma, you know, but I don't forget some of the major points I was going to say. And then I do this all the time where I'll go start editing the video. I'm like, you forgot to tell them to turn the camera on. And I'll have to go back and reshoot, set up all my lights again, you know, just to get a few sentences in. But now I won't miss that because I have everything done in the little bullet points. Now, was that a good enough reason to stick right to the end? Probably not. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, you're here, and it's decent advice. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I'll leave links below for all the stuff that I'm talking about. And that's the end of it. So I only wish that this app could write this great outro for me. Okay, bye.